mean, that's a shot, I'm guessing, from who's missing up here at the State Republican Party. Were there any efforts to try to bring them into the loop here? I mean, that's powerful opposition that you all face as sort of a bipartisan, nonpartisan group on this issue. That's a powerful opponent. What happened there?
Well, so, you know, I want to first clarify at the outset, and I'm thankful for your question because it gives me an opportunity and us an opportunity to clarify something important. This is not an issue of Democrats versus Republicans. This is an issue of we the people versus partisan politicians. The League, Common Cause, other nonpartisan groups have been fighting for nonpartisan redistricting reform for years, and fighting for it sometimes in the face of Democratic opposition, sometimes in the face of Republican opposition. Here's the reality. The party who controls the process, or thinks it's going to control the process next time around, always opposes redistricting reform. And sometimes both parties oppose redistricting reform. And we've been hearing a lot of talk from both Democrats and Republicans about the need for redistricting reform for many years, but the time for talk is over. Now is the time for action. So it's regrettable but not surprising that the partisan politicians who drew the terrible maps we have now oppose reform, but we are confident at the end of the day that the people of Ohio, including Democrats, Republicans, and people who are independent or aligned with a third party, are going to be behind us, even if the leadership of one party is not.
The state Republican Party and a lot of the Republicans around the state seem to have already have their message against it. So I was wondering if I could ask you just some of the different points that they're making out there. One of them is that it's basically an unaccountable board to anybody. It's one of the first criticisms of this issue.
So, do you want to go through the other ones and let me respond to all of them?
It's not accountable. Under its selection process, it disqualifies a large majority of Ohioans. It can ask for, under the amendment, any amount of money, and the General Assembly has to give that amount of money. And it's an unproven process. If it turns out it's not working very well, it's going to be very hard to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then also they're kind of trying to tie it to California and saying it's similar to something that happened in California. I'm not familiar with the California one, but they're saying it's, that one hasn't worked out very well so far.
So if you don't mind my responding first, and then you can catch anything that I miss, Ann. So what I find ironic about the opposition's talking points is that they would be accurate if they were describing the process run by partisan politicians that we've just seen. Let me go through each of these points. Unaccountable. Talk about unaccountable. When partisan politicians draw districts so that virtually all of them are safe, so that the general election is effectively meaningless in virtually all of our congressional and state legislative districts, that is the very definition of unaccountability. By contrast, our Independent Citizens Commission would be accountable by virtue of the transparency that is required for all of its processes. On the point that it disqualifies too many people, what the partisan politicians really object to is that we've disqualified them from serving on our Citizens Commission. We've disqualified big money donors. We've disqualified paid lobbyists. And we've disqualified their political cronies. This is going to be a truly independent Citizens Commission, not a commission of politicians and their cronies. The power of the purse argument. As someone who teaches constitutional law, let me tell you, give you a one-word response to this argument. From a constitutional perspective, it is bogus. The legislature retains the power of the purse, and if you actually read the text of the initiative, which a lot of us up here helped write, it says in not just one but two places that only necessary expenses of the commission have to be paid for. Contrast that with what we saw last year, where almost $10,000 was secretly paid for a hotel room right next door to us, which is referred to in their email as the bunker, where $210,000 was paid off the books to those who were drawing the maps in those bunkers. You want to talk about unaccountable, you want to talk about a waste of taxpayer money, look at the process we have just seen. As far as they're trying to bring other states in and say that this is unproven, well, what's proven is that the process we have now is a disaster. It is a process that rigs district lines in favor of politicians, lobbyists, and their cronies. And the process that we have spent many months developing through this group that you see standing before you, this process, we are confident, is better than any one that has been tried or even proposed in any other state.
Dan, you said you were